Hello everyone, my name is XINXIN and you can also call me Becky Yang. It's a really great honor to have this opportunity and I hope I can make a good performance today. At first, I want to introduce the research background. As we all know, every child is born and spends 2/3 of time at home. From the first time he's born, family education has been produced invisibly. Family education is education that accompanies a lifetime. So there will be seen that parents are the best teacher for children. If you want to create children's healthy and good psychological quality and behavior habits, you must go through a continuous and uninterrupted education process. Compared with school education, family education is more continuous and parents are their lifelong teacher. Today, I want to introduce a paper which is called The Influence of Family Education on the Importance of Character Education for Adolescents. I will follow 4 parts to introduce. This is part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. The first part is the scientific content of character education and family education. There are 3 definitions we need to understand. Scientific content of character education. So, in order to create a good character, education and training are provided. The content includes the inspiration of wisdom, the formation of good habits. Scientific content of family education. Family education refers to the influence and activities that parents, including parents and elders, consciously implement on their children through their words and actions with the aim of raising members who are beneficial to the needs of family and society, with the content of psycho and mental health. The importance of family education and the manifestation is mainly reflected in as following aspects. As we can see, there are 5 points. The second part is the character situation of family education and the character education for adolescents in China. This is the part 1, this is the part 2. Okay, the whole world is concerned about the issue of young's education. So what's the situation in China? Especially what kind of problems in China? I think we could sum up 5 points. 1. The tendency of realistic unitarianization of value orientation is strengthened with the deepening of socialist market economy. People attach too much importance to money, material, and social states and regard them as the goals of life, but ignore the construction of their own value system. And the tendency of social unitarianism makes young's character education like a good social environment, which inevitably affects the sound development of young's character. 2. Unbalanced development of abilities. 3. Psychological quality deviation. 4. Lack the social responsibility and obvious self-centered tendency. 5. The disconnect between knowledge and attention is common, and there are more problems in misconduct and misbehaviors. Regarding the 5th part, I sum up 4 reasons over here. In China, the main problems in family education are as follows. 1. The problems of parents themselves. with the comprehensive development of China's education and the improvement of parents' education level. Although the level of parents' education of children in China is also improving, some of them still have unscientific educational means, like the awareness of activity educating their children, and ignore their own learning. 2. New problems arising from changes in family and social life. 3. Parents lack effective management of adolescents' leisure time. 4. Lack of scientific theoretical guidance for family education. Importance of family education in character education of adolescents. As we all know, parents are the first mirror educator of adolescents and the most important mirror educator in their lives. Parents' family education process school education and social education, and at the same time, it's the education that has the deepest and longest influence on the formation of young people's moral character. Therefore, the influence of family education on the formation and development of moral character of adolescents is far-reaching, long-lasting, and subtle, which shows that family education has the most refined and extensive influence. For young education, the rules of family education is the incomparable or even better than that of school education and social education. This is the third part, analysis of the influence of character family education on adolescents' character education. I will fall in two parts to introduce it. Actually, we all know that family education has the most important influence on teenager character education, so let's analyze it. Part 1. Internal family factors affect the formation of adolescents' sound character. About family structure. In urban areas, the traditional large families are replaced by the nuclear families. In addition, only children are often pampered in the family. Parents take care of everything. Children lack the opportunity to do their own work, become selfish, capricious, everything is only me. So, I want to talk about myself right now. Actually, my child went to school in Korea when he was 1 year old. I mean, this age is Chinese age because the age of going kindergarten is 3 years old in China. Because parents think that children cannot do everything well before they're 3 years old. But Korean, something different. So my son learned the skills of wearing shoes and clothes or going to the toilet by himself at about 2 years old. It's the culture difference between two countries. So that leads to the influence of parents on children. I also will talk about control later because we have different culture. So almost family in Korean, they all have 2 or 3 kids. I mean, almost. But in China, almost family only have 1 child. This is something different because Chinese children, they will think, I'm that only one. I'm that the important one. But in Korean, child will share and the parents will balance. So this is something different. That's what we said, family structure. In China, there's a word called life behind on children. It's getting more and more attention. Because in rural areas, parents go out to work and many young people are left behind in the home and under the supervision of grandparents. This is we called left behind children. Because parents are far away from themselves and lack family education, left behind children have no supervision and guidance in their learning, and they can only rely on their own self-consciousness. However, children's self-awareness is not strong, so some of students have poor grades, and they have no other exemption to the knowledge, and they must accept in the books, and they don't even know what the outside world is like. Because of the lack of parental care, no one to guide, lack of security, and even problems with values. Discordant family relationships tend to make children development bad character. Family relationship refers to relationship between the main family members, including the relation between husband and wife, parent-child relationship, relationship between the siblings, mother-in-law, and daughter-in-law. In the character family system, it's mainly composed of marriage and blood relationship. Harmonious parental relationship has a certain relationship with healthy character development of adolescents. So, what does a harmonious family relationship look like? I think there are three basic aspects. Have a good and lasting relationship in family. First, we must understand equality and democracy. This is a manifestation of a degree of civilization in family relations, as reflected in the progress of social development. Second, respect and understanding. Because of different experience, culture, and education of a family of origin, they have different understandings and values on the same thing. A good relationship is that respects and understandings different points of view. I want to share some of my experience about my family. Actually, this is a reason why I found my husband. When I graduated from my master's degree, I want to go to my doctorate. When I talked with my husband about this idea, I thought we should have a discussion. However, he told me that people's life is very short and not everyone knows what they want to do. If I have such a plan, he's very happy for me, and he told me that I don't need worry about financial pressures. The third one is tolerance and compromise. Due to individual differences and shortcomings needs to be tolerated in family relationships. The words and actions between husband and wife will influence children. Children's understanding and view of things are infected by the family. So we said that being a man is the core of family education. Families with harmonious family relations will influence children's values in terms of parents-child relationships. Their relationship manifests is like equality. Think of children as an individual, not an accessory. Carry on this basis will make children have rich emotions and some moral character. That's good for child. Although there are many reasons for disharmony between husband and wife, these harmonious family relationships are often manifested in the following aspects of parent-children relationships. Let's say it. First, parents are in a strong position in a parent-child relationship, always shaping and acting their children according to their own ideas. Secondly, parents' bad habits. Words and deeds often become the role model for children. The third is indifferent to children, only rest not to rise. I call the first part parents' control. There's a sentence like, is for your own good from our parents. I believe not only in China, in the whole world, parents will see this kind of sentence. There's another keyword called friend. Actually, that's the best relationship between parents and children. The strengths and weakness of the family environment directly affect the formation and the development of a good character of adolescents. 1. Poor family atmosphere is not conducive to the formation and development of a good character of adolescents. 2. Family culture directly affects the development of young people's character. Part 4. Current measures to strengthen the character education of youngs in family education. Actually, this is the last part. 1. Establishing harmonious family relationships and maintaining an intact family structure. First, it's a natural responsibility of every partner to try correct a harmonious family relationships and to try keep the family structure intact. Secondly, the state and society should, in the correct environment of practicing the core socialist values, carry out education and public activities on family issues in the whole society and promote the traditional Chinese issues. 2. Family education should give priority to cultivation of sound character of young people. 2. Cultivate a sense of social responsibility among young people and become responsible generation. First, to cultivate young people's sense of family responsibility by means of participating in household chores. Second, independent work, the courage to take responsibility, to cultivate young people's sense of ownership of responsibility. Third, participate in social practice activities, experience the joy of giving in practice, and establish a sense of responsibility to serve the society. It is pointed out in Universal Education of the World in 1990 that another equally important goal of the development of education is the transmission and abundance of culture and moral values. Countries around the world emphasize on character education and try to satisfy the need of development of human beings. Many countries have carried on the reform of moral education aimed at cultivating the moral character of teenagers. Human education is a systematic one, which includes education in families, schools, and society. All of them are related to each other and combined with each other effectively. Successful education should be a combination of the three successfully. Family is the center of one life, and is also the most basic social unit. Family plays an important role in the process of the form of one's character and the development of emotion. At last, I want to say, actually, the whole world is connected, and the foundation of education is every country begin with family education. Because of novel coronavirus, the whole world has been greatly affected. So, human beings are the body of common destiny. I hope the corona will pass as soon as possible, and the whole world will return to normal states. Thanks for every day. Thanks for everyone. Although it's a such special way to make this presentation, I would like to say thank you. Thanks for listening and thanks for your guidance. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.